So last Tuesday, which was July 3rd, the Hollywood Reporter reported that Jena Malone had been offered the role of Johanna. They said, and I'm quoting the article here, and you can find a link to the whole article on our promo for tonight's show, but they said, while many in Hollywood are cutting out early for the holidays, it's reaping day for Jena Malone. The Sucker Punch actress is in talks to play snide tribute Johanna Mason in the Hunger Games sequel Catching Fire, a key role that will be reprised in the trilogy's third installment, Mockingjay. Malone has the offer and is in early negotiations for the part, according to sources. The move nixes premature reports that pegged newbie actress model Zoe Agaliki as the frontrunner to play the axe-wielding former Hunger Games winner from District 7, who aligns with Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark in their return to the arena for an all-star death match. That was a really long sentence. The role requires a mix of wit and physicality, and we talked about that a lot on our Johanna casting episode, the fact that the role would require, both wit and physicality. Although Mason enjoys some of the best one-liners in the novel, her first appearance finds her stripping out of her tribute costume in an effort to make Katniss uncomfortable. It sounds like Malone definitely has the offer, and that she's just in negotiations. Before we even just quickly weigh in on what we think about her, I have a question for those of you here who are more knowledgeable about this stuff. What are negotiations? When an actor is in talks, what does that mean, and why does the process take so freaking long? Do any of you know?
No. I can only guess.
What would your guess be?
My guess would be that they're going over contractual things, to have talks with lawyers. It's a contract, it's a business contract, so they have to make sure everything's on paper and everyone's
right
negotiated everything. So there's no hey, wait a minute, there are no white irises in my dressing room. Things
oh
like
my
that.
God.
That's an extreme case. I somehow doubt that Jena Malone demands white irises in her dressing room.
Any other thoughts about why this process can take so long and what it is exactly? Or is it just like one of those mysterious Hollywood things?
Well, if anybody in the chat room or maybe somebody on Twitter has an inkling about this, please feel free to share.
Because, with Philip Seymour Hoffman, we learned that he was offered the role almost a month ago. So his negotiations or whatever you want to call them have been going on for a really long time. Of course, for him, part of that might be because I think he recently, I don't know what the expression is, but he sort of liberated himself recently, and now he's like his own agent, I believe. I think I read an article about that a few weeks ago. He doesn't have an agency or an agent anymore. He's sort of like his own agent, if that's even possible. So maybe that's part of what took so long.
He's like a rogue actor. He's gone rogue. He's a rogue actor.
He's gone rogue. Okay, so who knows what those are. So anyway, regarding Jena Malone, let's just quickly go around the circle and we can each just share our thoughts. And of course, keep in mind that we have to consider this a rumor, just because it's not an official announcement. What happened today, that was an official announcement. Lionsgate announced that he had been cast. They released a press release and all that jazz. So until that happens with Jena Malone, we kind of can't consider this official, but for the purposes of tonight's show, let's imagine that it's pretty close to being official. So let's see, what order should we go in? I guess I'll just go down the line. So Rebekah, we'll start with you. I know that you are a Jena Malone fan. So what are your thoughts on her in this role? Do you think that she can do it?
She can completely do this. What I've noticed about just thinking over her taking this role is that she's not the type of actress who has a lot of ego where it comes to the parts that she takes. She's made her bread and butter by being a supporting actress. I don't think she's really had a starring role. She's always been part of an ensemble or a small part that just comes in for a few scenes or whatnot. So the fact that she's potentially taking on this role is, it goes along the line of everything else that she's done. But it's a step up. It's like, because it's such a big budget, big blockbuster movie, it might put her on the map more for, the people who are going, I have no idea who Jena Malone is, the people who had a tendency of having a problem with her, maybe taking this role because they've never heard of her. But she's been around for a long time. She's one of those amazing actresses who made the transition from being a child actor to an adult actor, and she's not completely screwed up.
Exactly.
So she's a solid choice, and
So what you're basically saying, Rebekah, is because she's a child actress who did not turn out screwed up, she's the prime person to play someone who is a little bit screwed up. That's
not what I'm saying. I'm just saying on her own personal fortitude, I think that's great. That she
I actually agree with you.
She didn't go Macaulay Culkin or Brad Renfro, okay?
Are you sure you don't want Lindsay Lohan in there? I mean, maybe she could really bring that kind of chaotic, self-destructive tendency.
Well, the thing that I like about Jena, and I don't know her, okay? I don't know her at all, but I've been sort of following her career for a long time. I first saw her in Donnie Darko, which is one of my favorite movies. If you have not seen Donnie Darko, please, I implore you to see it. It is really scary, though, and I think it's definitely rated R if you're listening and you are not 18 or 17. It's very scary, but it's really, really good, and I feel like I've kind of always known about her, and she seems. And I can't say this with absolute certainty because I don't know her, but she seems like such an intelligent and just really thoughtful person. She really seems to have chosen roles for herself that are very interesting and challenging. And she strikes me as the type of person who really has the ability to get inside a character's head and become that character, even if, she may not have had a tragic past like Johanna, but I think she's the kind of person who wouldn't have trouble going to that place. So I'm really excited about that, and I love her. I'm like a Jena Malone fangirl. I think she's awesome. And I like the fact that, and I mentioned this, we did reaction pieces for movies.com, and I mentioned this there too. I like the fact that she is on the petite side because you look at her and she seems very sweet and sort of fragile, but I think that's perfect for Johanna because, she won her games by pretending to be weak and vulnerable, and she ended up being like a total badass with an axe. If you want to use the term badass, I feel uncomfortable using that in this scenario, but I'm very excited about Jena. And Rebekah and I were actually tweeting about this the other day. We both think that Jena is the kind of person who will sort of push to take things to the, go the extra step or go the extra mile. I don't know what the expression is, but we were talking about Johanna's nude scenes, and we definitely think that Jena would, if they aren't already in the script, we think that Jena would say I really should be naked in this scene. Obviously, they won't show anything. They'll show, I think, Rebekah, you were saying, show her back or whatever. But I think she wouldn't have an issue with going there, and I think she would want to. Okay, so going down the line, Natalie, what are your Jena Malone thoughts?
Yeah, I'm equally excited. You covered a lot of the bases about, the physical presence. I feel like she is very small but very scrappy in a lot of the roles that she's done, and when the semi-official announcement, so it was funny. I wrote something and I totally said I was like, oh yeah, she took the role, and then someone from Lionsgate emailed me and was like, can you actually change it? She hasn't. Nothing's been confirmed yet, so so I bugged them and I was like, when you hear something, please do confirm it with us. But no, so when I'd originally written about this, I guess the other week, I feel like she'll just do a great job, I think, of doing that fierceness, but also kind of that vulnerability. And of course, part of me was always kind of holding out for, you know, a person of color to play Joanna. I know we talked about like having a more, you know, keeping the tributes like pretty diverse stuff, but at the same time, like, yeah, as silly as it sounds, if it had to be a white girl, then I'm really excited it's Jena Malone. If it is, if all that works out.